Thank you very much, Fatwa and Chula. Appreciate it. Good morning, Coach Gavin. I just have the two quick ones, Coach. First and foremost, what is the approach that you're going to use going into Sunday's game? Because obviously you've lost the past three games, 7-1 in aggregate. Is it a case of hold what you have, whatever you do on that pitch, do not lose, do not concede, or is it a case of let's show these guys who we are? I mean, it's the last derby of the season. And secondly, Coach, with just over 60 days left for this league season, are some of the players playing for the futures, playing for the contracts? Thank you.
What's gone is gone in the games. We're going to try and obviously be positive and obviously we want to try and get a positive result out of the game on Sunday. That's important for us. I think the scoreline here looks bad, but if you look at the games, I think we had enough chances in the games. We didn't take them in all three games this season. And obviously then we conceded. So didn't give ourselves anything to hold on to. Even in the first game, I remember we should have been 2-0 up in 10 minutes. We missed the two chances, been two away goals, didn't help us, and then obviously we conceded. So yeah, but I don't see, the approach won't be. It'll be pretty much, we're taking obviously the game's important. On the next question, that's we can't even be thinking about things like that. We're all trying to just concentrate on Sunday's game. It's the most important thing.
All right, Mark Stradom.
Hey, Coach, how's it? Let's cut to the chase. It's such a battling season. Whenever Chiefs look like they're getting some form, it just doesn't quite materialize. Just what are your frustrations? What is it that's not quite coming right? If you can put that into words for us and just explain. Just not quite getting there. It's a tough one, and that worst place of 9th. There's a potential of being worse than that. And I know there's a transfer ban. I know there's a lot of young players, and I know there's a lot of old players. But just what are your frustrations at the moment? And maybe a second part is, what are the positives? What's looking up for you? Thanks, Coach.
The positives that a lot of young guys have been given opportunity. They've done well. There's a lot they need to work on. A lot we need to work on with them. That's the positives. But I don't think this is the platform to start going. That's more for internal. But we obviously, the bottom line is in football, we haven't scored the goals and we've conceded a lot of goals. So, that's been pretty much my take on it. But obviously, it's much more detailed than that. But that's certainly not. I don't think it's a platform to divulge into that.
Robin Duke.
Coach, I just wanted to check here. Having lost, the last 3 games against Orlando Pirates, how does that, work in terms of psychological to the players? Is it, and then how are you managing that in terms of Castro? Is he back because he last played against the White and Casablanca?
No, Castro won't be back. As I said in football, when you're in the business, you can't worry about what's gone behind us. We've got to worry about what's going on Sunday, and we'll concentrate on Sunday's game.
And the first part, Coach, was about obviously having lost the last 3 matches against Pirates. How do you psychologically, does it work to your favor? So.
I said, because in football, if you worry what you've done or achieved or done, you can't. We've got to go to the next game. So the next game is Sunday. It doesn't. It's got no psychological effect. That's for me. That's for sure.
Okay, Tsepang.
Coach Tsepang from Sokala Duma. Other than Castro, is there anyone else who's not available for this game?
Karma obviously still out. Who else? Lebo Manyama suspended. And 1 or 2 other little problems which hopefully can come right by Sunday.
Let's move on to Nati in Polokwane.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, Fatu. Coach is Nati from NGFM in Polokwane. Looking at your last 5 matches, you drew 3, lost 2, and then Pirates won 3, drew 1, and lost 1. Do you feel that you are meeting them at the wrong time because they are more superior than you looking at the results? And also a quick one, will you be also counting on CAF Champions League, kind of experience?
When you go to any game of football, the next game it's irrelevant what you've done in the past. You can have won 5 in a row or lost 5 in a row. So I don't take that into consideration. It doesn't come into the thinking. Obviously, look at the squad of players that are available and try and put out the best team that's available with the squad of players. That's all we can do. What was the other question?
It was a CAF experience. Will it be?
No, that doesn't come into play at all. It's a totally different game, CAF. Totally different game.
Okay, Chad Kelly Clate.
Thanks, Fatu. Coach, just obviously having played Pirates 3 times this season, you've had a real feel of what they're about, but also just looking at how they've progressed under Joseph Zinnbauer. In terms of the level of Pirates and where Chiefs are currently, would you say there's a big gap between the two sides, considering all the factors of Zinnbauer having been there longer and obviously having had time to work with his squad and set a proper foundation for himself?
Well, I mean, he's invested heavily into the squad, and it's made them stronger, that's for sure. I mean, they've got a lot of options in their team. If you look at across their squad, so very good squad of players, done well, and rightly so. So it'll be a tough game for us, but we understand that and we know that. So, we got to just face it up.
Is there a big gap between the two of you at the moment?
Well, if you look at the league tables, how you judge it, don't you? Obviously there's a lot of points in between the two teams. So, they've done well so far this season. We obviously haven't had the best this season, but as I said, at the beginning of the answer was, they've invested heavily there.
Okay, Benjamin.
Me. Hi, Mineta Sela from Newsroom Africa. Coach, like everybody's saying, this is the 3rd derby for the season. In terms of motivation, do you see the players this time around more pressured? Are they digging deeper to try and find motivation, considering that the difficulty of the season?
Football players shouldn't need motivation to play football. If they do, I've always said that they should do something else. So you shouldn't have motivation to play every day. It's a part of a makeup in your DNA of a footballer, professional footballer. So it's not about motivation. It's about doing the right things on the day. That's more important.
Tashreeq.
Thanks, Fatu. Just sort of to tag along onto that answer, Coach, you said players do not need sort of motivation. It has not been quite the season that you would have wanted it to be, but leading up to this game, despite the draw in the CAF Champions League and undergoing and overseeing training, how's the mood in the camp heading into this match on Sunday? And how are you feeling the players are gearing up for this massive game on Sunday? Thanks.
The mood's been good, I don't think there's no problems there. We shouldn't be looking for those type of things. I always hear about those type of things in football, moods and things like that. The mood will be determined, when we kick off on Sunday. That's the mood. That's the mood you're looking for, the right mood there. So, players are obviously been up and down. We're traveling a lot, but it's been good. No problems.
Zakele.
Thanks, Fatu. Good morning, Coach. Zakele from Isodeze in Durban. Coach, losing a derby is painful to the supporters, and losing 3 is even worse. Do you believe supporters are understanding what we're trying to build in National Arena? Do you believe they understand that you need time, you need to have to sign your own players in order to make the team formidable the way you want it to be? And the second one, at least in the last 2 derbies, Pirates employed one tactic, playing those balls behind behind your back four. And then they did it successfully, and they won both matches. And this time around, coach, do you believe you've got a solution for that?
What was the first question?
About the supporters, coach, do you believe they understand?
Look, listen, we're all disappointed, internally in the football club, the players, the staff, everybody's disappointed. You obviously also want to do better. But we got to be real and we got to be realistic about these things. So we're all disappointed, and if anybody's more disappointed than me, then I'll find it hard to believe. But I mean, I'm disappointed, sure. Don't think I've ever lost to Pirates 3 times in my life. So it's disappointing, but we got to look forward, and we got to correct these mistakes and just do better.
Okay, Mazola.
Sorry, you didn't answer the second one, coach. About the tactic the Pirates employed in the last 2 derbies.
Yeah, tactic. Sure. We got caught out, took a deflection, there. I wouldn't say tactic. It's hard to understand. The ball was turned over, so we had possession of the ball. You look at 2-3 of the goals. So those are the type of things, people talk about tactics. I beg to differ a little bit, but yeah, if that's, the way people see it, then that's the way it is.
Mazola.
Okay, thanks. Hanti, I know you said you can't go into detail with the question Mark asked about obviously the future of the players and that, but when there's a lot of uncertainty, especially in terms of so many players with contracts ending, I mean, how does that affect, what you're trying to do and also the results as well? I mean, you've had almost a similar situation at your last job towards the end, where obviously the futures were uncertain, players were going to stay or go, but you finished off quite well in the bio bubble. I know it's not exactly the same situation, but there's quite a lot of uncertainty with a lot of the contracts of some of the players. How is that affecting results in the last couple of weeks, couple of months?
I mean, if you're a professional footballer, you play. I always say to players that you play in the shop window. You should be training and playing every day like somebody's watching you. And if you do that, football gods will take care of you. So, that's the way I work. Every day is a trial. Every day we need to be better than the day before, and then things will take care of itself. So, I certainly don't want players cheating the game. If you'll get caught out. But yeah, that's the way I look at it. So we need to just forget about that and try and play every game like it's our last.
All right, last round of questions. I'll start with Mark Stradom. 1 question per person, please.
Thanks, Fatu. Gavin, wasn't that you didn't quite answer, but maybe if I can just elaborate on the earlier question. When I say frustrations, maybe not necessarily with the club or the job or how things are going. It's more just as a coach, when you look at what's on the field and what's coming out and what you've prepared for, you must see some things that it's just not quite materializing the way you want. I don't know if you can elaborate on that for us in frustration and maybe that way, in what is just not quite coming together. I mean, obviously you tell us that you know what needs to be done, so you do see things. So maybe if you can just give us an idea. And I'm working on shortening my question. But
yeah, this is not the platform. I don't don't talk. I can't be talking about those type of things on this platform. It's not the right platform. We speak internally with players and things like that. This is not the right platform. Sorry, Mark, I can't answer that question.
Thank you. Karabo, quickly, please.
Okay, thank you. Coach, obviously I understand that you're trying to downplay the derby, but there's a lot of talks, you can talk of Shibins, you can talk of schools, you can talk of workplaces, but how are you going to ensure that your players play the match and not the occasion on Sunday? Thank you.
Difficult question. just got prepare the next 2-3 days. Be clear in what we want to try and do, how we want to do it. You know, I think we got to try and concentrate on us, obviously, a lot, but obviously we know we're playing against a good side. But we also got to know what we're trying to do and you know, and have a clear understanding of that. That's important. I think, yeah, that's more important.
Okay, I don't know if it's Benjamin or Minentle again. Quickly, please.
Coach, it's the 100th league Soweto derby. I mean, now you're inside. For many years, you've watched it from the outside. Just if you can elaborate from your point of view, just the magnitude of this match and what it means to the South African football calendar.
Well, it's always been a huge occasion in the football calendar. It's been like that since my time back then. It was always good, and everybody always showed a great interest in it. And I don't think it'll ever change. Obviously, it's very different now times compared to what's normally been the case because of the supporters not being here. And it's very, very difficult to play in empty stadiums, like everybody's struggling around the world. So we miss the supporters. We obviously would love to have them here, and I'm sure it'll be. But in saying that, we're still playing for the 3 points and the pride of the club. And, you know, it's a very important day for the club, for us this season.
Nati, good question, please.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Coach Mazola asked you about the issue of contract, and then you spend a lot of time with players. Are you happy with the overall effort, especially those whom their contract are ending?
Yeah, look, I mean, that's I haven't seen anybody cutting corners, and that's important. You know, we've been shoulder to the wheel. Everybody's been putting it in. You know, I can't fault them. I mean, it was a good performance on Tuesday again. We worked hard, you know, and that's all I can ask of the players. As long as we're working hard and putting it in and giving their all, that's the most important thing. So, yeah.
Tsapang, quickly.
Coach, just to add on to my question from earlier about players missing, just to confirm, Kune is still not available.
Yeah, he's not available still now. He's going through all the protocols of obviously being at the funeral and that. When you come back, you know, so you won't be available now.
Okay, last question, Robin Duke.
That's also going to be the same question. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Fat.
All right, thank you very much. We're going to end it here with the coach. We'll now bring in Samir.
Samir, I just wanted to check how you missed a penalty in the last derby and they have never scored in the derby. How desperate are you to score in the derby?
I mean, it's every player dream come true to score in a derby, big game, but it's a big difference playing with and without supporters. The supporters always been our 12th players on the field, and it's a really big difference, and we really miss them on the field. Yeah.
Okay, Karabo, quickly.
All right, thank you once again, Fatu. Good morning, Samir. Wishing you all the best for the game on Sunday. Between yourself and the players, well, obviously, you know, this is away from the coach, but what is the conversation between you and the other players going into this one? It's a massive game, it really is, in every sense of the word. But what is the conversation between you and the players? And secondly, Itumeleng Khune is out as well as Leboga Manyama, two key players. Does that, in any sense, make you guys weaker? Thank you.
Can you repeat again that first question, please?
Or the conversation, what are the talks between you
and
your
teammates?
About the coach,
we're trying to stay positive all the time, especially those experienced players. Like you already know that we have a lot of young players in the team now, and all what we have to do is to stay positive and past is past, and our full focus is on the next game, and every player must have that extra motivation for those kind of games. Yeah, it's a big game, a special one, and we're working hard to get what we want on the Sunday. Thank you.
Okay, front runner.
Thank you, Fatu. Morning, Samir. Obviously, you didn't start the season with Kaizer Chiefs through injury, but how have you adapted to Coach Gavin Hunt's way of playing? Thank you.
I mean, it was a really difficult time for me from the beginning. I missed a lot of games for the start of the season, and when I came back, I didn't went through some preseason and everything, just go straight to the games. But I'm trying my best to get there where I was before, and I'm working hard, and hopefully on the Sunday will be my day.
Nati?
Yes, Samir, if I'm not mistaken, you played 10 league matches this season, 1 goal, 3 assists. How do you look at that stat? And has it been frustrating for you not to score many goals compared to last season?
Not at all, because it's a big difference. Last season, when I came in the club, we had for 1 month and a half pre-season preparing. But difference to this season now, it's that I missed a lot of games from the beginning, and like I said, I just went from the recovery treatments and sessions. I went straight to the games. I'm happy that I'm finally back and that I can help the team. And obviously, it's not frustrating for me. I have to just work hard, and hopefully the next game will be the game.
Okay, it seems like that's it. Dalmain, you had your hand up. Are you covered?
Yeah, my question was covered. Thanks, Fatu.